Are people sleeping on South Arlington? You can either buy a townhouse in North Arlington, or for hundreds of thousands of dollars less, you could head 10 minutes south in Arlington and buy Cape Cod just like this. We're here today on 6th Street. Let's go check it out. So first of all, you're probably wondering, what the heck is South Arlington and North Arlington? What's the difference? So there is a major road in Arlington called Arlington Boulevard, Route 50, splits the north and the south side. The values change drastically from north to south. And today I'm here to show you what you can get for $1,050,000 in South Arlington, a beautiful single family Cape Cod. On the front here, we've got a front little stoop, which I love, a mature tree in the front. Check out the little swing for the kid. Family neighborhood, you gotta love that. And off the side, before we go inside, we've got a sunroom. Screened in sunroom, really cool place to sit out with a drink, read a book. Just one of the features I love about this house. But you haven't seen the best part yet, and we're gonna walk right into it here. As you head in the front door, look at this kitchen. Again, we're talking $1,050,000, which for Arlington, not an expensive house, and you are getting a fully renovated, beautiful designer kitchen. You got quartz countertops. People think white appliances, they think old appliances, they think grandma's house. In this house, the white appliances are actually new, which is super cool, very modern, chic, sort of offsets the brown tone in the cabinets. And you'll also notice too, cabinets go all the way up to the ceiling. You've got the vent hood all the way up to the ceiling. Just a small touch that you see in a high-end kitchen that you won't see in a cheap reno. Costs a little bit more to have cabinets like that, but it's pretty neat. And then you'll also notice too, you've got this tile backsplash, runs all the way up the wall, which we love. Just a beautiful kitchen, sink looking out towards the front yard. And then as you look behind you, you've got a little breakfast nook. And in the breakfast nook, this is super smart. You've got additional storage down there as well. So really maximizing the space. Hard to find a pantry in an older home, especially one like this. Again, they didn't spare any expense here. So it's one thing to get a renovated kitchen at this kind of price point in Arlington, but also getting a kitchen that's truly high end. I think it's a huge bonus. And again, just sort of highlights what you can really get for your money in this part of Arlington versus if you drive 10 minutes north, you cross Route 50, all of a sudden you're paying 1.4 for a townhome. So make our way out of the kitchen. We got the living room here, has a wood burning fireplace, fresh paint throughout, beautiful new mantle as well. Look at this original molding up around this light. I love this, so does that bug. But I tell you what, that bug doesn't love it as much as I do. We're just talking about quintessential Arlington charm, you know? In an area where, again, they're knocking down a lot of the old houses. They're building these new monstrosities. They have no character. If you're a person that really appreciates old home character and you want to blend that with new home vibes, like new kitchen, thoughtful renovations, I feel like this home is really a great spot for you. So I love seeing that they went ahead and preserved that. And then out this door is kind of to our sunroom, which I already showed you as our little preview on the walkway in. As we make our way towards the back of the house, you may think that a bedroom like this is the primary. It's definitely the larger bedroom. It's on the main level. But again, you'll notice in these old school Cape Cods, one closet. This is all you got, right? So for a lot of people in a modern world, they're looking at this bedroom and saying, yeah, it's a nice room, but how is this gonna be my primary suite? Like, how am I gonna fit all my stuff? Well, I have a surprise for you. And you can kind of walk past this secondary bedroom, and all of a sudden, instead of being your primary and your secondary, now you've got two really great guest bedrooms. And then we're gonna turn and make our way up into the upper level of the Cape Cod, where we have our vaulted ceilings. And you can see that they have finished this off into a huge primary bedroom. We've got new windows in the back, really nice high-end shades that are pull down, push up back there. Beautiful view into the backyard, still very private up here. And instead of cramming yourself into one of those 2 little bedrooms downstairs, you've now got your own area of the house, which is very cool. Built-ins in the closets to just try to help maximize the space that you have. His and hers. And again, they've sort of taken one of the big problems we run into in Cape Cod, which is we don't get enough space for ourselves for our primary suite. And they've turned this whole area up here into a spot that should have plenty of room, which I think is just a great use of space. One thing to know about Cape Cods is they tend to get warm upstairs. We've got the vaulted ceilings. So right above here is your roof. You're not looking at an attic, any kind of insulation, things like that. So it'll get warm up here, right? It's definitely a little warm up here today. But the good news is there's a solution to that problem. So you can get what's called a mini split HVAC system. It's actually just a small HVAC. It'll sit down there in the back of the house. They can run it up to the top here, and you can have a mini split system installed that'll pump AC specific to this room. So that way in the summer, your primary suite, which is a huge value add in this house, isn't gonna feel like it's 20 degrees hotter than being downstairs. So just something to keep in mind, but something that can definitely be fixed in a Cape Cod. We've got a lot of them in this area, so it's something that we see a lot. And again, it's just about solving little problems like that, but being able to use this whole part of your house that otherwise would just be an attic space or an office or a blank space. I love it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Joe Gunnerman. I'm one of the agents on the Davenport Group. We're the #1 team in Arlington. This area is a huge passion for us. It's where we live, it's where we work, it's where we love. And we're really here just to show you what can your money get you in these different places. So why come down here and buy a single family home versus going to North Arlington and buying a townhome? Well, if you wanna have a yard space, especially one with grass, one for kids, one for dogs, you're not gonna find that in a townhouse in North Arlington. Check this out, guys. You've got a hardscape patio here, spot for a grill, table, chairs. Then out over here, you've got a grassy yard. Fully fenced in, huge shed just for additional storage. Haven't even shown you guys the basement yet. But they've added a ton of storage, some cool features down there, so you'll wanna stick around and see that. But in a small house like this, having a big nice shed in the back, it's just gonna help give you a lot of extra space to put things we love. Again, you got big mature trees, beautiful neighbors, just really, again, highlighting what you can get for your money by coming a little bit further south. And your basement, which we'll go to last, is a walkout. It's also great. It's not gonna feel super dungeony. If you're looking for a house with a yard in Arlington, but you don't wanna spend $1.5 million, you should comment right now. Leave your name in the comments. Let me know what neighborhoods you're most interested in. Would love to chat and help you guys find a place just like this. As we head back inside, as is with most houses in Virginia, we got a finished basement. And of course, I got lost. It went back to the upstairs because I love that loft so much. But your finished basement is through your kitchen. As we head down, you'll notice tile floors down here. And we have original wood floors upstairs. Why don't we have original wood floors in the basement? So you're never gonna see wood floors in the basement because wood floors are not waterproof. And if you're gonna get water in your house, it's typically gonna be in your basement. Basements run a little bit damper typically than upstairs in the house. So even in a house where you're confident, there's no way my house is getting water in the basement, you still will not see wood floors in a basement here. You're either gonna see tile floors, LVP, plank tile, something like that. So here again, we have kind of a nice square, sort of olive-ish green, neutral tile. When you first come down here, you kind of got this extra entertaining space. So if you felt like maybe the living room was a little bit small, or your wife likes to watch Love is Blind, you want to watch football, so you're looking for an additional space, I personally like to watch both, where I would start with Love is Blind up there, and then when she wants to turn on, you know, reruns of Parks and Rec for the 450th time, I would then come down here and watch the game. So you have an additional flex space, which is cool. In addition to a flex space, you got a bedroom. So let's say your in-laws are in town, you got guests visiting, maybe you got a couple of kiddos up in the 2 bedrooms on the main floor. We got a spacious bedroom down here with a walk-in closet, conveys with a TV, and you've got brand new windows, which is awesome. A lot of times in these homes, they'll replace all the windows upstairs. They figure the basement, it's an afterthought. And in reality, the basement windows are where you're gonna get things like critters, things like water coming into the house. They've gone ahead and done that down here, put new windows in, which is a great feature. I mentioned storage when we were outside. We've got a really nice storage closet in here. A lot of shelving, which I think is great. And then down here, or if your in-laws are in town and they're driving you nuts, you've actually got one for mother-in-law and one for father-in-law. Call them twin jail cells. You don't find that in a lot of houses, but it could be nice to have. You just never know. Then you got a space for your cat. Put a little bed in there. Be happy as can be. We've got ourselves a full bath in the basement, which is nice. So if you got people staying down here, if they're not in there, they can access their own bathroom. Which is pretty cool. And the utility room. If you've been following my videos, you know this is one of my favorite places to nerd out in a house. You're not just buying what we saw upstairs, you're buying a house full of systems, a house with bones, right? So how much money can a house cost you not doing things that are fun? This is a room where we're gonna find a lot of that stuff. This room is unfinished. We got exposed foundation wall. I can look for things like cracks, water intrusion, all of that important stuff. We've also got water heater, HVAC down in here. If you haven't bought a home before, or maybe you have bought a home before but no one's ever taught you, you can actually read serial numbers on these, figure out how old these machines are. You know how old they are, what kind of condition they're in, and what brand they are, and make a more educated guess onto whether these things are gonna cost you money here in the near term. Good news for this house, we've got 2024 on the HVAC. We've got 2020 on the water heater. So we're looking pretty good on these systems here. You'll see on top of the water heater, what is this? So it's not active moisture. You can actually tell that this supply line has been replaced pretty recently. So I bet you that the older supply line on this side had a little drip leak. Water kind of got its way over here onto the tank. They caught it early, thankfully, able to replace that supply line. So I love to see that. This feels like an old leak to me. Bradford White, it's a high-end brand. It's only a couple years old. Even if it's 5 or 6 years old, you'd expect to get a lot more life out of a water heater like this. It is in a drip pan as it should be. So if it ever did leak out of the bottom, it would get caught in this pan, which is great. HVAC Lennox, middle of the road brand. I used to have a Lennox HVAC at my house. I know probably too much about these. It's a very complicated computer system in here, a lot of electrical parts, a lot of wiring. HVAC companies, not their favorite unit to operate on. With that said, 2024, it's probably got at least a couple more years left on the warranty on it. I would move into this house, feel pretty good about what I have here. Lastly, no signs of moisture intrusion in here. It's nice and dry. Overall, I think it's pretty good. And we've got my favorite grandma, grandpa garage fridge. These things will last 100 years, while your brand new Samsung in the kitchen will only last 5 before you're calling out an appliance repair guy. I love this. Keep some frozen pizzas in the top, some light beers, maybe some seltzers, maybe some super lights down in the bottom. Whatever you're into. Could be LaCroix too. No judgment here. Last but not least, laundry. We gotta clean our clothes. We got our own little laundry room down here. We got new washer, new dryer. They're side by side. I love that. For the washer, one thing to know with a side-by-side unit, after you run your clothes, you've got to leave this door open to air dry itself out. If you run this washer, you take the clothes from the washer to the dryer, you shut that door, this gasket down here is going to get riddled with mold. See it all the time. You can clean it, but it's a giant pain. It will shorten the span of your washer. Just one thing to know, even though it's a side-by-side, it's not a top open. So I think it's important just to know how to maintain your washing machine so it lasts a long time. And lastly, we got a sump pump here. Is this sump pump scary? If you're not from Virginia, you're not from the Northeast, say you're moving up here from Texas, where I used to be an agent, or somewhere out west, you're probably not gonna see a lot of these down there. Everyone's gonna see this and be like, oh no, is my house, prone to flooding or does it have a flood problem? In Virginia, if your house has got a basement, you should, and you most likely will, see at least one of these in the house. That just means that when water gets down in the soil up against your house, which it will because you have a basement below ground, you want that water to have somewhere to go that's not out here on the floor, right? So what it's gonna do is it's gonna go into this hole in the ground where your sump pump lives. And as this hole fills up, there'll be a float. And when that float gets to a certain level, it's gonna kick your pump on. It's gonna pump all of this water out of your house. It's a great thing, something you definitely want in your basement. And what is this whole thing going on back here? This is called a battery backup. That way, in a big storm, if you lost power and this outlet is not working anymore, this battery is still gonna operate your sump pumps. Sometimes in the biggest storms, power goes out. You need this thing to run. You can't be relying on this outlet. So that's what it's here for. But overall, nice and dry down here. It's great. A little bit of additional storage in the corner. Love to see it. You might notice washing this that we're missing one thing. Is there not another bathroom in this house? Well, there is. You get the full bath in the basement. And your second full bath is right in between these bedrooms. I just got so excited about that suite up on the top. Wanted to get up there and show it to you. You get an oversized single vanity, full bath, brand new grout in your tile. It's beautiful, guys. Nothing that you need to do in here. It's all set up and ready for you to move in. I'm Joe Gunnerman with the Davenport Group. If you're ready to stop sleeping on South Arlington, send me a message below, 202-658-5250, and I can help you find an incredible value just like this.